I'm Ju. Welcome back to my channel. So today I would like to make a short video to conclude my German landlord Jutta visited me in Malaysia. If you haven't seen the videos, you can click the link above to watch the previous episode. So I think we spent around 1 week time, travel from Penang all the way to Johor, and because that's the time during Chinese New Year. So definitely Jutta is gonna celebrate with me in Johor with my family. She's actually very excited. And I remember that back then when I was in Germany during one of the Chinese New Year, I still remember it's a tiger year. I'm very upset that I can't celebrate Chinese New Year. You know, I'm missing the vibes, the food, the decoration, the fireworks. And when she knew about that, she spent time and decorate the imaginary Chinese New Year that she thought for me to celebrate this Tiger Year Chinese New Year together. And the funniest thing is that she even prepared a present for me during Chinese New Year. So in that Chinese New Year of the Tiger Year, I celebrate Chinese New Year in a very Western way, which is also very warm for me as a foreigner living alone in Germany. But I didn't film much of the videos in Johor during Chinese New Year because I just want to celebrate this festival with my family and so that they don't feel very awkward. And for my grandparents, they haven't seen any foreigners so-called Angmo before. So it's a very new thing for my grandparents to have a foreigner celebrate Chinese New Year in our house together. So during Chinese New Year Eve, Jutta spent time have the reunion dinner with me and my family at my place. And then I remember I brought her to one of the famous temple in my little hometown to watch the fireworks together. And of course, we also have fireworks around my neighborhood as well. I have already done mentally preparation work for her that it's gonna be a very noisy night, so you are not going to have a good sleep at all. So she is very excited but also feel very uncertain because she doesn't know what's gonna happen in the night. And I also brought her to one of the night markets that we having it annually during Chinese New Year so that she understands what's going to happen around the people, the food, the decoration and so on. And she even want to buy a present, and this is the present that she chose actually, that she intend to buy it. But luckily I told her that actually this is for praying the God, because she saw that the cups is so cute and so nice. And then when I told Jutta, I was like, Jutta, actually this is for the God, you know, like praying the God, we use this kind of cup. And then she was like, oh, okay. Otherwise, I think she will brought the cup as a souvenir to bring it back to Germany. And then at the same time, during the Chinese New Year Eve, there's so-called, I think in Chinese we call 接财神. So it's like a ceremony that we pray the God and we want to welcome the fortune God to come to your place, so that during this year you are going to be, you know, like the money is coming to you and the fortune is going around you. So there's some of my neighborhood, they are practicing this kind of thing. And it's very funny that Jutta was just watching very quietly, wondering what he's doing, keep bowing and praying the God and take something and then burning, and then she was very confused. And then I was explaining to her. And I think it's a very funny culture shock for Jutta, I believe, as the only foreigner in our neighborhood to experience the very local kind of Chinese New Year. So the next day of Chinese New Year Eve comes the essence of Chinese New Year. We need to get our ang pao. So in Malaysia, our tradition is when you are unmarried, you can receive the red packet, so-called ang pao, from your parents, from your elderly, from your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, and so on. And you are not compulsory to give the red packet to others because you are unmarried. So for Jutta, of course, she's the very prestigious guest at my Asian family. So despite her marital status, all of our aunts, uncles just gave her ang pao red packet as a, let her experience what's going around during Chinese New Year. You receive red packets. And I even taught her how to say 恭喜发财. It's wish you a great fortune, or 新年快乐, Happy Chinese New Year. So she's really enjoy while, like a bit confused in this kind of vibes. But then she suits her in very well. She had a great communication with her hands with my grandmother, because she saw that my grandmom is so well in doing the DIY, like the baskets, using the rice packets, plastics. And she was like, oh my god, who is doing this? Like how much this thing's gonna sell in Germany is like 20 euro, and I always want to learn how to do this. Can your grandmom teach me how to do this so that I can make my own? And she's like, so yeah, she just fit in so well with my grandmom. They have a great communication using me as a translator, and also of course using the body language. And she learned how to do this kind of basket using the plastics. And my grandmom even sent her a kind of like bottle holder using the plastics that she made on her own. And Jutta was like, oh my god, are you serious? Your grandmom is going to like give me this as a gift, and I'm so happy. And then like, yeah, she just so happy of having this bottle holder. And she even still very happy in the next morning, saying that, oh, like this bottle holder matched my outfit color so well. And yeah, she's just like amazing person. Like she's always being positive and being optimistic to life, that I love her laugh so much. That being a 68 years old woman, being so optimistic and so positive to life, and then she makes everything possible on her own. And not to miss out that another highlight of bringing a foreigner to my grandparents is that, because Jutta is actually a smoker, so as my grandfather as well, he used to smoke a lot, but my grandmom is kind of like trying hard to stop him, but yeah, didn't work. So Jutta and my grandfather just sit outside the house at the bench, and then they smoke together. And I think this is the biggest culture shock, not for Jutta, but for my grandpa. Like he, in his lifetime, he used to be very quiet, listen to his wife. In his life, he didn't used to mingle around of people, so he used to just stay at his very little circle. And at this time, a German woman smoked beside him. Can you imagine? He was like,
oh my god.
And his reaction is so funny. I think this is his biggest culture shock in his lifetime. So after having some chit chat and some food session of everything, so my family and I, we used to have a photo session, a big group photo session during every Chinese New Year. So of course, Jutta is going to join us in this photo session. And of course, in Malaysia, we used to say "Huada," means like, it's, yeah, meaning for fortune again. Son. So I think Jutta has definitely a lot of fun. I think the biggest culture shock that she shared with me is that actually, like in Asian family, we used to live in a family context. So there's a lot of people gathering around, all families, all cousins, and so on. And then while we are playing some games during Chinese New Year at my grandparents' place, she just quietly observed us, and then she smiled. Because I think in Germany, most of the people live in the individual context. So the family bonding is not so strong. Instead, they have a very clear boundaries, even though with families. So I think this is a very new experience for Jutta, for her to see how Asian families bonds brought us together. So this is definitely a new culture for her. So during Chinese New Year, I think it's also very awkward that I brought her around many relatives' homes and so on. So actually, I brought her to one of the activity that she didn't try it before, which is doing pottery. And at the beginning, she was like, but then she loves it a lot. And she told me that when she returned to Germany, she do a pottery class on her own to make her own pottery. So here comes the ending. We sent Jutta at the bus station the day she's leaving, And yeah, actually, we didn't know that when is the next time we are going to see her because she's pretty old as well. And she knew that this is also her last trip in Asia because of her age. We do cry a little, but still, we hope the very best for Utah. And I'm very grateful that I met such a great landlord. I think it's not very easy to meet such a good person in a foreign country, celebrate your birthday for you,
Danke!
celebrate your festival, and prepare the present for you, and so on. I think Utah is definitely a person that I admire. And also, she brought me another image of how women should be, because you know that in Asian, woman is comes with a lot of label, but in Utah, you definitely find a very new definition of woman. I clearly remember that once when I chatted with Jutta and we talked about like, okay, what's the first thing you would do when you wake up? She told me that the first thing that she would do when she wake up is she will look at the mirror and smile at herself, make sure everything's look good on herself before the days begin. And this really shocks me a lot because you know that in Asia culture, women used to follow the rhythm of their partner, their children, but they are rarely focusing on herself. So I learned a lot from Yuta besides her positivity and optimistic, but also her life philosophy as well. So thanks for watching the video. If you are interested to know more other topics about Germany, let me know in the comment down below, and see you in the next video. Bye!